I was planning on just keeping this on down low. Oh, especially between this weekend Splatfest. I'm on Team Saturday and getting deeper into the Tomb Raider remaster. Er, But this most recent update, and given how it just straight up crashed during one of my missions, I might as well address this. So, while it's not the disaster I envisioned, it's also not very good. So, I guess let's talk about Foamstars and go over why, at least at this stage, it's a soapy hero shooter that lacks Splatoon substance. So let's get started. Whenever this game showed up online, I never really paid it much mind. I just deliberately decided to hold my tongue until it actually came out, and but then I started seeing red flags, such as the fact they held an embargo on reviews. It was until the game actually went live on PS Plus, and it will be for the duration this month. Uh, and once reviews did come out, they were in the ballpark of the highly contentious Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. And ironically, the life service elements also being critiqued the most out of it, and the fact that it's not god awful for the most part, it just is kind of there. And even with the admittedly a flashy visual presentation and sound, it doesn't really stand out that much from a gameplay perspective. Personally, I mean, even when they label the takedowns as chills, hills, the main foam smash mode is not that functionally different from most other team death matches from um, other third-person shooter multiplayer titles. The Rubber Duck Party and the mission modes are not really that different from other games that where you defend the payload slash objective active like it would be in something like Overwatch, Destiny 2, or any other game that features something similar, where you're defending the objective or payload. And the heavy map survival is definitely no different than any other last man standing mode. So, and while there are some interesting ideas, admittedly, like hey, they don't really come together as a unified whole. They don't really gel the same way Splatoon does. I'm not saying I'm against the idea of having multiple titles in a specific subgenre or even just a genre as a whole. I mean, there's room for Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat, there's room for Mario and Sonic, there's room for Zelda and Horizon, but as Square Enix has continually found out the hard way, there's only so much room in a given space, and nothing can make people sick of a certain business model quicker than saturating the market with it. Admittedly, as someone who owns all three Splatoon games, as well as considerable hours into all of them, I do have skin in this game. I mean, it definitely a pretty seamless mixture of shooting, platforming, and in the case of like these single player missions, something of a puzzle as well. I mean, especially clear in the auto expansion, and I'm also looking forward to the upcoming side order as well. Oh, but that's not important right now. I mean, basically, he you shoot or spread ink on the walls. You dive into it. You can use that for cover and for refilling your her weapons and health. I mean, like the surfboard is a nice idea, but it lacks that kind of intuitive look and feel. I mean, I've definitely been a believer in intrinsic learning in any video game mechanic, if you don't always have a manual, if you just need to figure it out, and something of a figurative and literal trial by fire. Here, but if you learn one mechanic, you can definitely, for one weapon type, again, using Splatoon as an example, between like the dualies, these blasters, rollers, and brushes, you're more or less capable of learning other ones in that kind of range. The same basic principle is like you're learning a character in Street Fighter or Tekken. I mean, sure, you may not be able to memorize all the combos, but if you learn your basic like, punches, kicks, grapples, and projectiles for one character, you should be able to figure out ones for others quite easily. And even though, in theory, some of the specials are kind of interesting, and again, even though if you're firing in foam, it's not that functionally different from other weapon types. I mean, if I had to pick ones that I personally enjoy playing with the most, and liked in terms of design, I would go with the inventor Tonics and the pro gamer Agito as well. I mean, the way they look, the way they behave, and their weapon types. The ones I found the most personally interesting, but admittedly the balance needs a lot of work, and I get the feeling like the version and update that went live tonight was supposed to address that, but then wanted to go try a mission with some teammates. The whole thing just crashed. At least I was able to see that some people on my team, or at least other people I saw in the lobby, had the screen name Tai Young Town in there. Nice. And here's the big albatross around this game's neck, as it is with many other live service endeavors, including those Square Enix has embarked on. The most prominent being Marvel's Revenge before they tossed that game into Vormir. The title has excessive monetization for the skins, battle passes, with the most egregious example being per character $45 cosmetic packs, and has been noted that you can and get the entire Yakuza Remastered collection on Steam for just under less money than that. I'm also going to be checking other systems available on to make absolutely sure. But on top of this, they're also erecting a $30 paywall once the game reaches PS Plus, and let me tell you, I'm not really feeling compelled to even keep this on my system until it leaves, let alone own that much further. And keep that in mind, it definitely has this aura about it that it's trying a lot, and okay, so it looks like you can actually get a decent amount of Yakuza games on PlayStation, and as well the legacy titles, most for that. And I definitely could get a lot more enjoyment out of Fuga Gotoku's over than I could out of this in the long term, since I don't know if there's going to be a long term, because even with the PS Plus inclusion, it hasn't really been like the next Rocket League or Fall Guys. It's not even in the next Rocket Arena by looks of it. And yes, I wasn't even floored by EA shutting down that game out of the blue, much as I was to find my favorite Dragon Ball character for only a 5-spot roster places. But that's the whole thing. Hang. I will admit that it's not really as easy to make something as you might think in this day and age, and it doesn't really help that as a business model, the live service one is at a low point, and barring a few big examples, it may be on its way out as there's only so much time and and money that people have to invest in certain games. So there's only room for each individual to like invest in one of the two of these kind of games as well. And for now, how I think most people are just gonna go back to Splatoon, who if they have that. I mean, and even Ninjala did enough to distinguish itself with focus on ninjutsu and also blending elements of East Asian stylings with more American and comic book stylings, things where even having collabs with everything from Vocaloid to Sonic to Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba. So, and they definitely still have a healthy amount of active users and downloads, and I'd definitely be willing to log back in that, especially. So, yeah, it's not looking good at the moment. So, overall, all this game may not have been and awful like I was worried about it being. It's just kind of there. And I definitely have little feel compelled very little to really go for much more beyond maybe just trying to get that PS stars token, which is thankfully not on a blockchain like some people erroneously claimed. And but beyond that, I'm definitely going to be moving on to something else, especially with the legacy titles coming to the premium tier on Tuesday. That'll be all for now. I'll see you all again very soon, so take care, everyone.